Thank you all for coming out today. It should be a good day. I want to give thanks to Daniel Barra for planning all this. So it should be a nice day with the Parish Fair and the different tables out there from the different groups in the Parish, telling them each about what they do. So please stick around, see all the tables and all that good stuff. First up, we're going to do a town hall meeting, giving you an update of how the parish is going. So we haven't had one of these in a while. The last one we had was this one here. Okay, so without more ado, here it is. And the fireworks. I know you guys would kill me if that actually worked. Okay, that's where it is. So it's not St. Andrew's in Pasadena. It's not Blessed Sacrament. It's a humble church. It works. I think it was some guy that works with SpaceX that said one small step for mankind, one large step for humanity, or something like that. But it's a small step. We go step by step. Eventually, we will have a big church for St. Vitus, but one step at a time. The time before that was 2022. We had a bunch of churches that we were looking at. Still hadn't found anything. The time before that was in 2020. We had paid off the debt for San Fernando in about a year, which was really phenomenal. The Archdiocese still appreciates the fact that we paid it off that quickly, and so that's what we announced in 2020. And in 2017, we announced the new church that we were going to have in San Fernando. So that's kind of how the parish town hall meetings have been going until now. Last year, we didn't have a town hall meeting because this campus was the town hall meeting. It was just see for yourself, this is what's happening. So that's what we did in the past few years. This town hall meeting is going to be slightly different. All the previous town hall meetings that we've had was basically telling you the progress about us getting a church, right? It was we had raised money, it was we had found this campus, it was we were looking at these campuses, it was we got this other campus, and so on, right? This one's different. This one's very different. This one is, we have our church, and the seed has been planted, and now it's starting to grow. It's special. All this time we've been kind of like, well, we started off as what we would jokingly say Roman Catholics. Especially before the fraternity got here, there were different parts of the city that each had a different mass on different weeks of the month. And so you would go to one side of the city one week, and then you would figure out where the next one is the following week. You would go there, and then around, basically making a tour of the city every month. And jokingly referred to yourselves as Roman Catholics. Then we've kind of been doing our own Roman. Started off in San Felipe, and you'll remember that little chapel there. It was about half the size of this room, and we all packed in there, and we all had mass in the little town. If you drove by on the street, you would miss it. You wouldn't remember, or you wouldn't see where it is. It was tucked in a corner. It looked like a house. It was that small. Then we went from there to St. Victor's. We had the little chapel there at St. Victor's. By the way, we have Mark Montgomery with us today. Thank you very much. Sorry to put you on the spot. He's been a little under the weather lately, but we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Mark. He was instrumental in getting us into St. Victor's. He asked Monsignor Murphy if we could go there, and Monsignor Murphy said, that's fine, and let us stay in the convent chapel there, and at the bottom of the convent, there was a little chapel that was about a quarter of the size of this room. I could fit like 10 people in there, and we would do mass there every morning, and we would pack it out. We would have 30 people in this chapel, which means that some people were sitting in the bathroom, some people were sitting outside, some people were sitting in the stairwell, but we made it happen. And it had character of its own. Monsignor himself made that little altar. We had classes in the kitchen. That was really nice.
And he sings Ecce Lignum Crucis in a slightly higher tone. This time it symbolizes the apostles preaching to all the Jews after Pentecost. They know.
Good times. But we've come a long way since then. And now we've come to our own campus here. And we've gone from Roman Catholics and trying to focus on where to have Mass or how we can have our own place to finally having a place. And now the seed has been planted, and now it's finally starting to grow. And so we're seeing stuff that we haven't experienced before. There's some people that honestly miss San Felipe. There's people that has great memories there. We used to have Monday night talks every Monday night. We would have a gathering and a get-together. It was everybody's dinner, actually. We would all bring potluck, have dinner, and then I'd give a talk about some theology thing or whatever. We miss those days. I miss the time that I had to spend with you all back then. Every Wednesday, I would go to Leo Severino's house with a bunch of the youth. We would have the Going Deeper meeting. I would say Mass for them there and stuff. And those days are long gone. I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. Now I'm finding it hard to find a time in a month to be able to go to dinner at someone's house. So my schedule's gotten really busy. At the same time, the church has really grown. Now we have different memories, right? Before we had memories of being small, everybody knew each other, we got to enjoy each other's presence and spend time with each other. Now it's different. Now we have the joy of being able to share this treasure that we have with many people. Hundreds of people come here for confessions, hundreds of people come here for Mass, hundreds of people have discovered the treasure that we have here, and we are able to provide this treasure for the city of Los Angeles on a respectable scale, so that our parish is not the smallest parish in the Archdiocese. It's not the largest either, by all means, but it's respectable. What we are doing here is huge. It's bringing the faith to others. And now that also includes not just the Mass, but all these other aspects of a parish. We have full-fledged parish, and we have legitimate parish life. So we do different things, like for example today, the parish fair. We have concerts that Father puts on, or other people put on, and we have all these other different things that really put together a parish life. But while we have all these different things that put together a parish life, one thing stands out, and that is the Mass. That is the liturgy. And even though we have this whole parish life coming to life around us and experiencing this huge growth, if you were to take away that one thing, if you were to take away the Mass, it would be a ghost town here tomorrow. None of you would come, because you all come from very far, and you all come for one reason, and that is the Mass. That's why we're here, that's why we're united, that's what we all love. So even though we have this whole parish life of all these many different things going on, and it's really starting to grow, one thing stands alone, and that is the Mass. That is keeping tradition and preserving the Mass. Had a lot going on this year. First of all, we had visits of bishops and archbishops. So it started off this time last year on the 25th of July. Archbishop Gomez came to do the dedication. After that, we had Bishop Baruch come to bless the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. we all did a fantastic job, Joe Sorensen heading it up, to build a beautiful garden of Our Lady that the neighbors absolutely love. I'm always seeing people there. And we have the cameras there in the garden, right? And the cameras actually, they're real. They watch. There's people in the office that watch it, not our office, the main office and stuff. And I get reports every day of who's been there. It's amazing how many, even non-Catholics, come to pray in the middle of the night there in front of Our Lady. It just blows my mind. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, the impact just that garden has on the neighborhood. Anyway, so Bishop Baruch came to bless that, and it was a historical moment for me, personally, because it's the first time that a bishop has come to our parish that I have not injured my face or my head in some way. You remember I had a huge gash when Archbishop Gomez came for the dedication. But that was the one that broke the ice. So since then I haven't injured my head when bishops have come. And since then we had him come back to install the Stations of the Cross. And we had the archbishops come from the Vatican doing the visitation and while they were here, they blessed the other image of Our Lady of Guadalupe that is outside the door there. Father Berg came, and while he was here, even though the chapel is not completely finished yet, we had him bless the chapel of the 14 Holy Helpers, which is where the big statue of St. Vitus is going to go. It's outside the door of the church there. So he blessed that while he was here. And what else have we got? We had concerts, great concerts and talent show and all that good stuff. We had Father Poirier come to give the men's retreat. We had a bunch of other stuff going on throughout the year. We had Brother Ansgar come, Father Pericone come give a talk. We had Mr. Gill come. We had the Shroud of Turin give a presentation. We had the flower prophecy. When I went out to give a talk at one of these other parishes, the pastor there told me that it was a big deal because they hadn't had someone come to give a talk at their parish in a few years. And I was telling him, well, we kind of have something every month going on. So we have a few things coming up as well. We've got the car show that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. Hope you can all come to that. It should be fun. You'll be able to see the beamer I've been working on. And we've got Father O'Reilly giving us a concert. I believe it's not Monday, but the following Monday. It keeps happening. More stuff keeps happening here at the parish. So we're going to talk about the finances now. I'm going to ask Mike Soyoto to give us an overview. Mike is on the Financial Council. He's going to give us an overview of how the finances are going in the parish.
Okay, can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
All right. As Father said, I'm Mike Soyoto. I'm on the Finance Council. I've been on the Finance Council since we started it at the old building. Okay, here's a quick overview of where we are. We have two main fund accounts. We have our operating account, which is used to pay for general parish expenses, and our building fund. So you see we've got about $2.7 million in the bank, which seems like a lot, but as you know, this is an expensive city. Here is a slide that shows our loan balance. So this starts off with January 2024 when we first purchased this property. We borrowed $3 million from the Archdiocese. I don't remember how much we put down. Put down $2, so it was $5 million to buy the campus. We had raised $2, we borrowed $3. And then when we sold our old property, we sold it for about $1.6 million. We used that to pay part of the loan down. And then yesterday, we made another very large payment, and we got our loan balance all the way down to $236,000. it seems odd that we would be better off paying down our loan and having less money in the bank versus having more money in the bank and having a loan. It's all kind of the same on a net basis. But as Father mentioned, for the Archdiocese, it's really meaningful that we pay down our loan quickly, and they're more willing to give us more money later. So even though someone might think, well, it's better to keep the loan balance and invest your money, at the end of the day, we're much better off paying our loan down, and then when we go to need more money, the Archdiocese is going to be happy with us. I think there are a lot of parishes that don't do a good job, and so we have a really great reputation inside the Archdiocese because we take care of our debts so quickly. And the same thing happened with the old building too. We paid that down very quickly. This kind of breaks down how money comes in. So in the top, check or cash, electronic versus not electronic. That's an interesting slide. So right now we have 86% of our money coming in with check or cash. At the old building, it used to be much higher for electronic giving. I think we did a better job back then of telling people that you can donate online and set up recurring donations. We've got a lot more new people here. I think we have a lot more cash coming in the basket. And so we'll try to start advertising more to get people giving electronically just because it's easier for us to track and it's easier for Father to send out the receipts at the end of the year for your tax deductions. And then the next one is a breakdown of where the money's going. So most of the money that people are giving goes to our operating fund, which just helps run the parish and the rectory. Then we have building fund and call to renew. We'll come back to call to renew later. And then here at the bottom, you can see our monthly collections are steadily growing over the past year, which has been great. Average monthly collections, about $140,000. If you ever are unfortunate enough to find yourself at another parish for Mass on a Sunday, a lot of times in the bulletins they'll tell you what their monthly collections are. And you'll see, you're not going to see anything that big at most parishes. It's really impressive how much money we collect every month, especially given our size. And it's surprising to go to some other church in a nice part of town with a really big building and they're going to have $25,000 a month. So we should all be really proud of that. Okay, so here's kind of how we spend our money. So the very top line is, this is annual, right, Father? Yes. So how much money we're bringing in annually. And then the bottom number is how much we have left over. And then everything in the middle is what we're spending. So you can see that most of our expenses are just running the campus, which is much more expensive than the old campus because it's bigger. We've got more stuff to take care of and stuff to clean. I said this the last time I gave this talk. I think the food allowance is kind of small. I don't know why you guys don't eat more food, but I think I spend a lot more than that for my family. Okay, call to renew. So I see a lot of familiar faces, so a lot of you were around for call to renew, but just a quick summary. When Archbishop Gomez first came to LA, which was a long time ago now, he did a tour of the entire Archdiocese and hired some people, and they said, wow, you've got a lot of deferred maintenance. I think it was a crazy number, like 500 million or something really big of deferred maintenance across the Archdiocese. So he set up this Call to Renew program, which was supposed to help take care of deferred maintenance all over the Archdiocese. And every parish was given a target fundraising amount. And our target was $625,000. And if you raised that much money, you split it with the Archdiocese. So we would have kept a little over 300, and then we give 300 to the Archdiocese that they then use for other needs. And every dollar above your goal that you raise, you get to keep. And so our goal was 625. I think that we hit that goal within the first 2 months, and then we got pretty much up to $3 million. And I think we either came in first or second place in the Archdiocese for highest percentage over goal, which again was really great internally for us at the Archdiocese. We have a great reputation, and this was a really big deal for us. So far we have 1.5 collected. These are 5-year pledges. I think we're on target. Everyone's continuing to give regularly, which is great. If you're new to the parish and you weren't here for this, I would say, jump in on this. I think call to renew doesn't exist anymore. It's kind of closed, but you could still make a blood oath with Father on a 5-year pledge to give money and help us continue to grow our building fund for our future needs. And this is our Together in Mission status for this year. Our goal to collect the Archdiocese is $80,000, and we're doing all right. So I think that no matter what, the Archdiocese will come and collect this from us. So if we don't give pledges and pay it, they're going to take it from us anyway. So go ahead and just make a pledge and help us get there. Is that right? Okay. Right, so that's it for me. So I'll just make one last pitch that we still need more, right? We still want a bigger church. We still want a nicer church. And so I would encourage you to continue giving to the building fund. If you've done call to renew, please continue those. If you haven't done it, we really appreciate you pitching in for the building fund. A lot of times people want to wait until they know, oh, we're going to do this project or that project, and then I'll give the money then to do it. But it's really important for us to continue to build the fund over time so that it's there for us. There's a lot of steps to get, from where we are to the next point in the life of the parish, and we can't really commit to a lot of that without making sure the funds are there. So I just want to encourage everyone to keep giving. If you remember Monsignor Weber from the mission, whenever he gave a speech about please give money, he said, please give money, don't give too much, but remember when you give money to the church, it's always supposed to hurt a little bit. So. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, what Mike said, exactly. Thank you for everybody who's given so much over the years and this last year. We're doing phenomenal in paying off a $3 million debt. It's nothing to be humble about. I mean, we to pay off that much that quickly. We haven't paid it off yet, but we're almost there, right? We'll be there long before our next town hall meeting. Right? So the question is, what happens after that? Do we keep giving money to the church or not? But like Mike said, we're not finished yet. There's more. We're planning a bigger church and planning on keeping this location. So just don't be thinking that, oh, it's all done, oh, we have our church, oh, we can get comfortable and settled now. I can look for other charities to give my money to. Sure, you can if you want, but we need it here, okay? And thank you for your generosity. Another interesting aspect of our parish is the fact that we have a bunch of volunteers. The average parish, okay, I don't know this firsthand, so I asked ChatGPT. But according to ChatGPT, which is never wrong, the average parish pays about $500,000 in salaries to the personnel that work at the parish. And that doesn't sound too far off for me, because each person that would work at a parish is going to be paid, including benefits, if they're full-time, between $80,000 and $120,000 each. So that adds up. Here, we are really blessed that we have fantastic volunteers who really go the extra mile to make sure the bathrooms are clean, to make sure that the campus is clean, to do little things. Louis was there last night when I was going to go to bed. He was trying to fix the front door of the church so it wouldn't slam so hard. Little things like that. So we have a bunch of volunteers that really help out here at the parish, doing so much every day, from flowers to cleaning to office work to different groups around the parish. The list goes on, and thank you to all of you. I can't mention all of you and all of what you do, or else we'll be here all day, but I do want to mention three. The first person I want to mention is Kim. Thank you very much, Kim, for what you do here. Kim does a lot. Kim is here more than I am here. She's here locking up sometimes. She's here like when I arrive in the morning. She does office work. She does the collections. She counts the collections. She does the table out there on Saturdays to bring in some money for the parish. She's doing the Vitus training with individuals, making sure that we're good with the Archdiocese as far as that goes. And then she does a ton of organization to make sure the office is organized and everything. She does a lot. So really grateful for her. Another person I want to mention he's not here, half of you don't know him, Adam Baravirka. Some of you know him. He was from the old days at St. Victor's, and he is a phenomenal CFO of the company. Actually, he's been CFO of many startup companies. And when he was leaving Los Angeles, as his way of staying united to St. Vitus, our parish, he offered to continue doing our books. So he is our accountant, and he writes all our checks. And any of you who know how much goes into the accounting in a parish knows that it's a full-time job. He usually does it on Saturdays besides his full-time job that he has in the company where he is. And so he dedicates basically all his free time to our parish and helping us. So Adam's done a phenomenal job. The third person I want to mention is Richard. You all know Richard. I remember at St. Victor's, there was one day when I showed up to unlock the church at St. Victor's, and he was standing outside the door, and I didn't remember him, but apparently he was there on the very first week that I came to Los Angeles. I had gone to Roy's house to have a rosary group, and he was there at the rosary group, and we prayed the rosary and stuff, and then he went off to try his luck at some monastery, and it didn't work out. So he came back, and ever since then, all these years later, he has religiously opened up the church every single day. And any of you mothers out there who know how hard it is to get out before the rest of the family can appreciate the fact that he has really been dedicated to helping out with the sacristy, helping out training the altar servers, unlocking the church every day. If he's around at the end of the day, he'll lock up for me and unbox all the stuff in the sacristy, really take care of the sacristy. The little thing that he does, which is actually a huge thing, is that he keeps the Paschal fire burning all year long by the sanctuary lamp. That's hard to do. I've tried, and I failed. That's hard to do. So we have a lot of great volunteers. I wish I could mention all of you. But yeah, thank you very much for all of you that do that. That do stuff like that. So when I talk about the graces you can attain from assisting at Mass, I mentioned that you can attain more grace assisting at Mass by participating in the liturgy. So, for example, the priest gets the most grace out of celebrating the Mass because he is one with Christ. The altar servers get a great amount of grace from assisting at Mass because they're assisting at the altar. The choir, likewise. We also have the ushers, and those who really participate in the liturgy in that way. And so we have quite a list of everybody who assists, either being ushers, or altar servers, or choir, to really make the liturgy happen. And some of the altar servers do a phenomenal job. There are a few, I'm thinking of the Acosta boys, for example, that are there when I need altar servers for a funeral or whatever. They've traveled with me to many different parts of the city to do a burial for someone, all the way from a wedding at St. Peter and Paul, or a burial at some church out east, I don't remember what it was. And so that family has really gone a long way, because of course the whole family has to come and interrupt their day for that. And that's just one example of all the effort that the altar servers do. Generally, each Mass, I come in, I put my vestments on, I say Mass, I take my vestments off, and then I leave. That's a luxury. Other parishes, the priest comes in, he's got to set up the altar, he's got to set up his vestments, he's got to set up his chalice, he says Mass, then he takes his vestments off, puts his chalice away, puts the altar back and all that. Our altar servers take care of all that. Our altar servers are almost trained sacristans as well as altar servers. They do a fantastic job. And then the choir is there every Thursday night, late here, practicing. I'm sure they spend many hours at home practicing as well. And they really do a phenomenal job in the choir. Don't really give them much recognition, but they really do sound beautiful when we have High Mass. So let's give a round of applause for them. Okay, so we have the Finance Council and we have the Parish Council. We have 3 new members on the Finance Council since the last time we had Town Hall. We have Jordan Petty, John Crevatelli, and Steve Argo are new members of the Finance Council. We also have Mark Montgomery, Mike Soyoto, and Dan Mansueto and Adam Badaverica on the Finance Council. In the Parish Council we have Joanne, Christy, Mark, Gerardo, and Daniel. While we're at it, I just want to ask you to keep Gerardo in your prayers. He is the head usher, and he's here every Sunday, opening up and locking up, and he's here longer than I am. He's not doing too great right now. He's in the hospital, so pray for him that he pulls through, that he gets better quickly. I'm sure he can appreciate your prayers. And if you want to go visit him, you can. I'm sure he'd love to see you all. But anyway, he does a lot around the parish, so now is our time to give back to him by our prayers that he gets well soon. Okay? So, sacramental life. I was surprised how large our convert class was this year. I remember several years ago when Father Masudi asked, could we do a convert class? I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, okay, so yeah, of course we can do that, but how? Like, you advertise in the bulletin for people coming into the faith. The people who are not in the faith don't read the bulletin. So, how do you start a convert class? Anyway, we started, and I think he had like 2 or 3 students that first year, and this year we had 26. Where do they come from? How do they find us? Like, but they're there, and they're solid people, and they're on fire about their faith. And Father O'Reilly does a phenomenal job, and he pairs up sponsors for these converts who can be with them step by step along the way, making sure that they really embrace their Catholic faith. So this year we've had quite a lot going on in the sacramental life. We've had 10,000 confessions.
That's always Saturday.
That was just this past week. So we've got a lot going on. A lot of sacramental life. 40 baptisms, excluding the 26. That comes out to pretty much every week we have a baptism here, which is pretty impressive. We're really coming alive as a parish. It's a beautiful thing. Haven't had too many funerals, which is good. We want to keep our people alive. The Sunday Mass attendance might be really hard to see. Goes up and down, but we're kind of averaging between, around 1,150 more or less. That's kind of where we're averaging. It's been kind of stable. What's also interesting is the different Mass times. So the 7 a.m., the 1 p.m., and the 6 p.m. all kind of have similar attendance. And then the 9 a.m. and the 11 a.m. are the more popular Masses, and they also have kind of a similar attendance. And some people bounce around. They go to different Masses on different days, which is nice. One of the complaints that you get when you go from one Mass time to 2 Mass times, which has been a while since we've done that, is that people are not happy that they will never see the people in the other Mass time. It's a growing pain. But it's good for you to bounce around different Mass times, because then you get to meet the different parishioners from the different Masses and pray together with them and get to know the rest of the parish. So I'm noticing a lot of you do bounce around Mass times that you go to. It's a good thing. Keep that up. Mass attendance overall is very good here. What's next? Okay, parish life. So, as I've been mentioning, the seed has been planted and now our tree is starting to grow here at St. Vitus. We've got a lot going on with parish life. We've got a lot of groups. Knights of Columbus keep asking me if they can start a chapter here at St. Vitus, and I just don't know when we'll be able to fit it in, so I just keep trying to kick that can down the road because we've got so much other stuff going on. It's actually kind of hard to find meeting spaces at times. So first of all, we've got the men's group. They meet about once a month, and then they do other stuff as well. They take care of the evening adoration on First Fridays. They take care of, they help out with the picnics, the family Sundays that we have. They're going to help out also at the car show and stuff like that. St. Crescentia Women's Group is a group of the ladies. They meet multiple times, and they actually provide dinner for the priests on Sunday nights, so that's very kind of them, much appreciated. We've got the Troops of St. George, which is the Catholic version of the Boy Scouts, and a great group of youth that we have going on there. The nice thing about the Troops of St. George is that it really is a father-son thing. So the boys are not alone at the group. Their father comes with them and participates with them in the activities. We've got the young adults that meet every Wednesday. They play, the latest thing they've been doing is silent volleyball, which is, it intrigues me, even though I'm not there because I'm sleeping. But after the time when you're supposed to be quiet in the neighborhood, they are there playing volleyball silently, and they break their leg. It's very exciting. Silently breaking their legs. Then we have the youth group, which we'll talk about in a bit, the Thomistic Artists Guild, the Maidens of the Immaculate. We've got St. Vincent de Paul that do a lot of good for the needy people, the parish, the mums. Rosary group, which a bunch of homeschool mums get together, usually at the Scioto house, to pray the rosary each month. A Mother Perpetual Help group who pray a lot to Our Lady of Perpetual Help. They also do a lot of stuff around the church. For example, they change out the votive lights and all that good stuff. Crusaders, the Eucharistic adoration, pray to do reparation to our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament. There's this group called the Seven Sisters Apostolate, which is really special. It's a very private group, so there's 7 sisters for each priest. A lot of them don't even know who the other sisters are, but they just dedicate to praying an hour each week for each of our priests. So there's however many there is, I believe there's 4 groups of 7 at this point. And one prays for Father Riley, one prays for Father Cadet, one prays for myself, and one prays for Pope Leo. So these groups praying 1 hour every week. And then we have Cigar Night, which is basically for young fathers of families to get together and be support for each other in their vocations. It's kind of a cool thing. Usually they've been meeting at one of our parishioners' house, Severo Gomez's house. This last month we thought, hey, let's try it here in the parish. That was kind of cool. We met here. So these are a bunch of the groups. Hopefully I haven't forgotten any. There's a bunch there. But for now, I want to invite Father Riley out to talk about Optimistic Arts Guild. This is a new arts guild that Father is putting together for the parish.
As Father Friar said, the most important thing we do here is the holy sacrifice of the Mass. So you're not going to be the source and summit. But from that source and summit flows the rest of parish life. Really flows recreation and holy leisure. Really, that's the thesis for Joseph Pieper's leisure, his book on holy leisure, the basis of culture. And so I have a background in the fine arts as a concert saxophonist, and so that's a big part of my life before seminary. It continues to be a big part of what I do as a priest, and I like finding those connections between theology and the fine arts. So it's been on my heart to kind of find a place for that. And so this group has gone through a lot of prayers, a sermon, a couple different name changes, but we are the Optimistic Artists Guild. And so we are here to foster fine art that leads people to beauty. And so St. Thomas Aquinas, the common doctor, is also special to the fraternity. On our coat of arms, we have 3 tiers, showing the tiers of St. Peter. 1 tier is faithfulness to the Pope. The 2nd tier is faithfulness to the Latin Mass. And 3rd tier is faithfulness to St. Thomas Aquinas. And so Thomas is very big for the fraternity, and definitely someone who I can find a lot of theological answers. Thomas reminds us that beauty is that which gives pleasure when being seen. And so there can be pleasure or delight seeing natural beauty, but there can be also beauty experienced in the fine arts. And so here on our logo, we have the 7 main types of fine art. You have music, literature, sculpture, film, theater, painting, and architecture, all surrounding the instrument of our salvation, the cross. And our motto, Ars Pulchra ad honestum ducit, basically beautiful art leads to virtue. Beautiful art leads to moral goodness. Beautiful art leads to spiritual beauty. And so we're going to have a couple different events here at the parish, kind of like Knights of Columbus has some public events, and then events for members only. We're going to operate in that same capacity. So we have public events such as showing Sound of Music this evening. I'm doing a benefit concert for the Guild July 21st. Isa and many members of the choir are doing a concert in August. And also, we're going to do a St. Luke's Art Gala on St. Luke's Feast Day, October 18th. So those are events open to the public. But as a member of the Guild, there are events where you can work with Catholic artists. So we're scheduling some workshops for those that are writers, storytellers, cigar and poetry night. And I'm going to do a recollection day as well, March 7th, Feast Day of St. Thomas Aquinas. And so for those that are fine artists, you can join the Guild, and if your work meets our criteria, then we can endorse you. Or if you're working on a fine art project and are looking for some financial help, we're looking at getting some grants started. And so even if you're not a Mozart or Michelangelo, you can be an associate member and just be here to appreciate the arts, because we need that as well. So we're going to have a table with the other groups here at the parish. We have our website here, and so please come to our table and register. We'd love to have you on board. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Father. Another group that we're just getting started is the Maidens of the Immaculata for the young girls of the parish. We'd like to have Joanne come on and maybe say a few words about it.
Is it still morning or is it afternoon yet? Afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Joanne Pulley. I'm the one who was supposed to be in Texas. Apparently Texas is just not big enough for me, so I was told to stay put until further advised. And I'm happy to still be here. We started a group, we started working January of 2023 to create a group based on the model that is at Mater Misericordiae, one of the fraternity parishes. I think they're in Phoenix. They have a girls group. They're called Little Helpers of Our Lady. They do the kinds of things that we do. We took some of what their model is and we added a few things. Our girls are 7 years to 17. We have meetings once a month, as long as we can hang on to our space. There's a lot of competition for space around here. We do art activities. We do chant. 3 of our ladies have a chant session with our girls that lasts from 20 to 25 minutes, and they've learned all the Marian hymns that we sing throughout the liturgical year. We did our first procession recently. We have lots of opportunities for involvement in activities within the arts as well, and work in the community. So we're interested in adding more girls to our group. So if you're interested in joining or having someone you know who's interested in joining, bring them on over. Our next meeting is the day of the car show. And we're clawing out, we're fighting for space. Father said he will not accept bribes, so we'll have to find another way. And we're hoping we'll have that meeting.
And then the last group we want to talk about is the latest one that we're starting. We're starting a youth group. Esteban, come up and tell us a bit about the youth group that we're going to be starting.
Well, my name is Esteban, for those who don't know me. And a few months back, about part of last year, someone came up to me and said, hey, you know, we've been seeing that other parishes that are doing a youth group. Apparently a lot of mothers have been asking if St. Vitus offers something for the youth. We have a young adult group, but if you're not 18, they will kick you out, kick you to the group. And so we're here to pick up all the kids and add them to our group. Like both Father Fryer and Father Riley mentioned, the focus of the parish is the Mass. And I believe that the opening words of anything are very important. Now when it comes to the Mass, some of you guys may not know what's actually being said. After the sign of the cross, the first words that are said in the Mass are Intruivo ad altare Dei, ad Deum qualificat juventutem meam, which in English is, I will go unto the altar of God, to the God who gives joy to my youth. And I believe that in any parish, the youth group is very important. Now, for a youth group, it's very important that there is joy, that a parish has youth that are excited, that want to come to Mass, that want to participate, that feel involved in some aspect. And I'm very excited for the youth group. I'm actually heading out, God willing, in September to seminary. But we are looking for people to be involved in the youth group and to make sure that this continues. I really think, and in fact, our patron, St. Vitus, was young. You know, he was a young man. You know, when he died, he was about 15. He was about 15, so we would have been able to accept St. Vitus into our youth group. So pray for the youth group. A lot of people criticize youth groups, but I hope this parish has a really good one. What do? We do different activities. Father gives a little talk. We try to get the kids to talk to each other, to do activities, to play together. We did a park day where we had capture the flag, and it was really cool. So, you know, it's been good. We're going to meet every second and fourth Saturday of the month after the 9 a.m. Mass. Thank you.
So we're really excited about everything going on here at the parish. It's starting to grow. It's really starting to take off. It's only going to get better from here. Finance Council and Parish Council already have our sights on to the future, kind of drawing up sketches like maybe a bigger church for 800 people more or less, right on this spot here. So we're going to have to knock this building down and put it right here. But everything with due time. Right now, the focus is parish life, to really grow the parish and to really take full advantage of the graces of being in the parish, and take full advantage of the friendships that we have in the parish, people that can lead us to God, where we can learn our faith and move forward every day.